today's video, I'm going to tell you a story about how I managed studying full-time with working part-time. Hi guys, my name is Manisha Agarwal and you're watching Hoi Nederland, the university survival guide from a university student to a university student. In today's video, as you guys can tell by my cute edition, it's story time! Now, I did story time video before and you guys seem to like it, so I decided that this year I'm going to try to keep it up a bit more and try to have more story times a bit more often. And if that's not enough, then go check out my blog page, because there I'm interviewing 6 students and sharing their stories. So yeah, hopefully this will give you guys a bit more insight as to university life in Netherlands. But without rambling any further, let's get right into the story. So my story starts here. I have just finished my first year of my bachelor's and I finally managed to pass it by literally one course. So in Netherlands, basically you have a BSA, which is basically the minimum number of credits you need to make sure you can go ahead in the second year. And if you don't make that, then well, you're kicked out and you cannot apply again for 3 whole years. Now that's a lot of pressure. So I was really stressing out the whole first year and I decided not to have any distractions whatsoever. So I was practically a nerd and just kept to my books and nothing else. So no socializing, no activities, well a little bit here and there. I had to make some friends, but it was pretty much friends in class and that's about it. So I had no really experience of the first semester of college people normally get. But that's all because I was so stressed out about managing to make that BSA requirement. And by God's grace, luckily I managed, but literally I managed by one course. If I had failed that last exam, I wouldn't have made it. And that meant that I had already 3 courses failed, which is going to come with me to the second year. But once the BSA thing was off my head, I decided, okay, in the second year, I'm going to try and be a bit more into the city. I'm going to try to get to know people more. I'm trying to make more friends, get some experiences. Now, how do I do that alongside studies? Because this entire year, I just knew anything but studies. I didn't really know how to make friends. So I didn't know where to start because by then we had to move out of our student accommodation and had to find an apartment. And I ended up living in an apartment with only one roommate of mine. And she was way older than me, so she was never really at home. So I felt a bit alone. So I was like, I want to make some friends. I want to gain some experience. I want to basically test the waters a bit and see what university actually has to offer, and well, the city in general. So I went on the university portal and I found out that luckily there was an opening for a job at the university itself. Now it wasn't something to do with my degree or anything to do with the career that I'm interested in. It was vlogging. Yeah, so that's basically how this entire thing started. But I started off with the university and I was vlogging with them and I basically applied to be a content creator for the marketing team, and they wanted me to set up an Instagram page and basically promote the university as much as possible to cater to international students and prospective students. Now I did this by being a part of the blog and vlog team. So there's a whole team of people working on videos and vlogs, and I was the only other vlogger that was there, and I worked with them for a year. So on my first day, I head into the office and I meet my boss pretty much, and she tells me, hi, welcome. Basically, you're on your own and you have no office and you have to work from home. Now I was like, okay. Now in my head, I thought if they wanted me to create content, I would have some studio or some set or a whole production team or something. No, turns out I'm making everything on my own, which means scripting, editing, producing, finding locations, getting permission to shoot in locations. Pretty much everything that I'm doing for my own channel right now was by them. Now, I'm not complaining. I'm thankful for that experience because that's how I basically started my own YouTube channel. But it was quite the shock because I was really looking forward to having a really professional experience and learning the skills you need to make videos. Now, obviously, over the years, I've kind of learned and tried and error, see how videos work and seeing the response from you guys. But yeah, I basically learned how to make pretty much at-home videos, but for the university. And in my opinion, I think that's a bit of a shame because the university, if they want to promote their stuff, they really have to have really good quality setups and cameras. So it was a bit immature that they asked us to either buy our own cameras or use really high-tech phones or whatever, and I'm just using my phone. Even now I'm just using my phone, and I think the quality is pretty good. But yeah, so there was a lot of issues in the beginning with teething problems in terms of like, oh, the quality of the video isn't good, or my editing software is not good. But hey, you're not gonna pay for a camera for me. I can't rent a camera from you guys. You guys are not gonna give me an editing software to use. I have to just basically use iMovie. So what do you really expect? So after all the teething problems were done, we kind of figured out how to make videos and everything. And over the year, I made a total of 5 videos. Yeah. So I realized that it's a bit less, as you would assume, for a whole year. I mean, I make more videos than that in a month on my YouTube channel. But it's basically because I was working part-time with them. The number of hours I was putting in was way more than what I've been getting paid for. So at a point, I kind of realized I'm investing way too much emotion and time into this, and this is a part-time job. I have a full-time degree to focus on, so that's kind of where I got sidetracked, and I was like, oh, well, I kind of have to move back to my focus on my degree, because by this time, I realized it was like, I think 8 months or so, and my grades were dropping like all the way down. So I was like, yeah, this is really not good. So I was kind of looking forward to my contract ending, as bad as it sounds. But yeah, I mean, I did learn a lot. I learned how to do a lot of the stuff I'm doing around on my YouTube channel. And I also learned tips and tricks from how to basically edit using iMovie. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I also managed to make new friends there. I learned a lot from our team because our team is very international. We had people from like, I think 7 different countries. So it was really, really nice. And yeah, I mean, it was a fun experience, no doubt. I learned how to be a bit more professional. I learned how to be a bit more open-minded. And it was really fun because I had an email ID from the university, and people would send in their email IDs from my videos and say, hey, we watched your video, or like, we have questions about this and this. So I found it really nice that I could help out students who are either from different countries, or students who are here, or prospective students who have questions about the university and who basically put me in charge of their decision making, but that's a bit intense. But yeah, it was kind of nice to like help out people, and that's also where my interest to start my own YouTube channel started. And I have to give credit to that for the university. Because of them, you guys now have a series by me. Now, alongside this university job, I had another job which wasn't paying me, but that was basically being a part of the board year of the Indian Student Association here in Groningen. So I was working with them also kind of part-time. Well, it is a board year, so you're working with them for the entire year, but the workload is kind of like a part-time job. So I'm working part-time, and a full-time degree. So pretty much I'm working full-time and full-time on both things. And that was a bit intense, I must say. But I honestly would not have had it any other way, because in my second year, yeah, my grades fell down, but the amount of experiences that I made and the friends that I've made, like, I cannot be more thankful for that experience. Now, talking about the Indian Student Association, I want to be president so bad. Funny story. So, when we applied and I basically sent in like a form, I had an interview and everything, after all that was done, it was like, okay, you're in, whatever. Turns out that the board that I was in was the biggest board ever. And what's even funnier is that I was the youngest on that board. And the oldest person on the board was 10 years older than me. So I really was the baby of the group, because I was in my second year of my bachelor's, and everybody else on that board was either in their final year of master's, or doing their PhD, or finishing their PhD, or doing postdocs. Like, it was like, the age gap was huge, basically. Now, me being the baby of the group and saying that I want to be a president, that too with the whole board of Indian students, no chance. But yeah, we basically had a vote, and then we had this situation where everybody put their hands up for the eldest guy, and no one put their hand up for me except for myself. But basically, he became the president, and I think I would have preferred that way, honestly. But yeah, I eventually became the culture secretary along with 2 other girls, and we had the time of our lives. We were basically in charge of planning events and trying to think of new ideas and ways to promote the Indian culture in the city. Now, most of the Indian boards all over the Netherlands either celebrate Diwali, which is the biggest festival of the year, no doubt, or they celebrate Holi. But for some reason, this city did not celebrate any other festivals. So we thought, why not we have a better view and, project India in a better light by having festivals and events which basically covers as much of India as possible. So we added new events that were never there before. We had smaller scale events. We had large scale events. And at the end of the year, we basically made so much profit that we could help fund the next year's board. And we also had enough money to make hoodies for ourselves. And it was very cute because we had like a whole team hoodie and we had a new logo design and we got like the whole printing, everything done. And like it turned out that we wanted hoodies printed, but we actually got them hand embroidered. So these hoodies are going to last a lifetime. And I'm so happy that I have it as a memento from my time on the board. But yeah, basically I was working with them. And here comes the fun story. So what happens is 6 months later into the board, we finished with Diwali. Everything is great. We're now chilling because it's almost the holidays time, so we have nothing else to worry about. And the president leaves. Now the president leaves to go for personal reasons for 6 months. And this is my time to shine pretty much. So I said, hey, can I be president now? Like I've been part of the one event and by this time I had gained enough trust with everybody else. And everyone was like kind of mingling along well and we were a really, really good team. So then they were like, sure, you can be acting president. And boy, was that a lot of work. So that's why I said that I'm glad the president was the president and I did not take it up in the beginning. Because I had to basically do presidency work alongside the vlogging, alongside my studies. And at this point, I was at the end of my second year. And that's also the course that I had failed for my first year. So I had way too much of like coursework to do. But yeah, luckily everything worked out. It was perfect. It was great. And let me tell you something really nice. So what happened was in February, which is my birthday month, I decided that I wanted to have a really, really big party and I couldn't find a way to get all my friends together at one point because we all had different schedules. So I decided, how about we have a Bollywood dance night? Now, if you know me, you know I love dancing and I love Bollywood dancing. Now, because I was part of the board and I was A, acting president, but B, also the culture secretary, this was the perfect opportunity for me to basically introduce Bollywood dance to Groningen and the Netherlands, basically. But yeah, so what we did was we went to a club, we told them that, hey, we want to have a contract with you and we're going to have this really nice dance event. And yeah, that was basically my birthday party. So we basically made a birthday party turn into a live, large-scale event. And we honestly expected like maybe 50 people-ish because a lot of people here do not even know what Bollywood is. We were surprised when the club people told us that the club was A, at full capacity, and B, there was almost double the amount of people waiting at the door to get in. Now, I had no idea this was going to blow out so much out of proportion, but I was so happy that the city actually wanted to see what was new, what was happening in the city. And I basically ended up celebrating my birthday with the city and random people too. And that was like my best birthday ever. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed that experience. And I feel like I left a little bit of myself in the city. Because ever since that Bollywood dance night, we've been having them every year. And every board has kind of made it a thing now. So I can't believe I started a tradition in the city. And it's going to last for as long as it can. But yeah, I love that experience. And honestly, I will say that maybe working part-time on two activities that are so opposite was not the best idea in terms of trying to balance workload and working part-time. But I also know students who work full-time alongside their full-time degree. So it is possible. I can definitely recommend that you do some kind of work part-time. It doesn't have to be working at a restaurant or something like that. That's also a job that's also like it pays your bills or whatever. But if you want something to add value to your degree or to your university experience, try going for something that you're passionate about. So for me, I felt like I kind of was losing my Indian roots because I'm like kind of mixed Indian, Dutch, whatever. So I thought joining the Indian board would be closer to home, and that's exactly what I did. So I feel like now I'm a bit more Indian for Netherlands and I'm a bit Dutch for India. So it's really funny. But yeah, I feel like this was a really nice experience for me and I learned so much. And in the second year of university, I feel like I matured so much faster than my classmates. Like, I feel like mentally I was maybe 3, 4, 5 years ahead of them. And that's basically because I was interacting with people who were way older than me and had much more professional skills than me and who were basically much more, have seen the world more than me, basically. So that's why I was really, really grateful for the experiences on both ends. And I would definitely recommend that if you do work part-time or full-time, that you find a place that lets you grow as a person. And yeah, okay, you can also grow at a restaurant because you'll be working with an international team, you'll be able to learn more about people's culture, you'll become more open-minded, you'll become more responsible. So all those traits are really good, and you don't have to rush to find a part-time job just to add it to your CV. Like, I didn't even think about my CV when applying for these jobs because I genuinely felt interest in them. So make sure that whenever you're applying for a part-time job alongside your university degrees, you do it for your heart and for your soul and to basically expand as a person, grow, and become a better human. So once I finished my second year, I then realized that I had way too much backlog because my grades fell down even more. I had more backlog of courses, I failed more exams. So I decided in the third year that I'm not going to renew my contract. And neither am I going to join the board again. Although I really wanted to become the president of the next board because I knew a lot more skills by then. But it was just better for me to just take out the third year for just my studies and focus on that because that was my final year. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I ended up having to take a fourth extra year. But I graduated. But basically I had an extra fourth year to cover up for the damage that was done in my first year and my second year, which basically had a domino effect in my third year. Now, luckily, my grades finally pulled up in the end of my third year and the whole of my fourth year, so everything worked out perfect, and your girls graduated. But yeah, I would definitely say that my third year and my fourth year were completely focused in the studies. I had almost zero friends. I lost a lot of my friends. I made some new friends. I had no work experience. And at this point, all of my classmates realized, oh, we need some work experience in before our university degree gets over. So that's when people were applying for internships in the summer, and then there was me who went off to India for summer break. And I felt really guilty, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I haven't got any technical work experience. I only got these fun side jobs or whatever, and I didn't know what to do. So after my fourth year, I decided, okay, well, I will take a gap of a year, and I will try to get some work in there, try to get some traveling in there. But no! Guess who came to visit us? COVID-19! So that's what happened, and my fourth year I decided, okay, well, I'm going to graduate by summer, and then I'm going to go off traveling, I'm going to get some work experience in, I'm going to get some internships in, and try to start making content in the professional world. That obviously didn't happen, and even getting a regular job was proven to be almost impossible, because the job people basically said that, oh, you can apply to our company because now we need master students as a regulation or like a requirement. And yeah, for COVID reasons, we want people to be highly skilled and more like, fancier degrees. So I decided, well, I will have to eventually do a master's. And by the time I realized that, it was too late for me to apply for the master's starting in September. So I decided, okay, I will then sign up for the master's starting in February and join midway. And that's where we are right now. But I just started my master's, and so far it's going okay. It's online. It's a bit weird. I've never had online classes before, so I'm trying to get used to that system first. But yeah, so far so good. But I just recently finished with full-time job with the university, and this time it was more technical. So what happened was, in my gap semester, as you could call it, I basically had a month off to myself after I graduated. And I really experienced the whole COVID lockdown situation, and I was not having it. I said, okay, well, I'm going to work, and I'm going to find a job, and I'm going to work, even if it's part-time work from home or whatever, I'm just going to work. And that's what I did. So basically, I worked with the university under the chemical engineering department, and I worked as a research assistant. Now, it's not an assistant like, getting coffee kind of thing, no. A research assistant is basically someone who is doing the research for your supervisor or your professor, and you basically report back to them with data and you do all the experiments yourself. So that's basically what it was. A lot of work. I had a 9 to 5 schedule the entire week. I was running to campus, and yes, we were in a lockdown of sorts. It was an intelligent lockdown, so it was still okay to get outside, and we didn't have a curfew like we have now. But it was scary because campus was empty and it looked terrifying. First of all, it's winter. Second of all, it gets dark so quickly. So when I'm entering campus, it's dark. When I'm leaving campus, it's dark. So it was very, very scary. And also, it was empty. And also the labs they had like a whole corona rules. So you had to sign up early. You have 5 people in the lab. You have 5 people in the office. So it was pretty much eerie to a bit. But yeah, I definitely learned a lot from that experience as well. I did a lot of experiments. I had a team which I was working with, but they weren't working on my projects. I was working independently, but there was a whole group of people working on the same reactors. So I made a couple of friends there from that place, and I learned a lot about research. I realized I could research stuff pretty quickly. I was impressed with my researching skills and my speed. I managed to write reports. I managed to make presentations. I did lots of data, and honestly it was quite an experience because I didn't know how long research actually takes. It wasn't something I'm used to, and it's something that I didn't know I had interest in initially, because I always thought, oh, I'm going to go in the corporate world, I'm going to enjoy that kind of a life. But then I went to this world and I was like, this is interesting, but on the other hand it's quite frustrating because I did spend almost a month doing research on some samples and then nothing happened. So it really was a bit slumping that, you're working and you're spending so many hours on this stuff and then you get 0 results. But apparently that's what research is all about. So people do PhDs for 4 years, 5 years, and they have this going on for years. So I don't even know how they do it. Honestly, kudos to you guys. But I had a little taste of that experience in that life, and I was like, yeah, I'm not liking that part. But I definitely love the fact that there's something new and you have something to look forward to every day because you don't know what you're going to expect to see. So that was very, very exciting, and I loved the experience. I loved working in a very professional setting. And the best part is I got a professional ID card. I got a staff ID card, so I could get some free coffee. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with that, and I just felt very professional and grown up. And basically, I'm now continuing my contract with them, but part-time. So I am still working part-time alongside my master's degree, and maybe I'll come back in with another story time video and tell you how that's going after, let's say, a year or so, if you guys are interested. But yeah, so now I'm continuing to work with them on the same projects, but I'm doing it part-time only because my university right now is online. But once my university does go offline, let's hope that the vaccines are out and then people will be able to open up campus. Then working part-time on campus while studying is going to be a whole new experience. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, so far so good. Hey guys, I hope you liked the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel in the link down below. So like I mentioned earlier, I will be having more storytime videos. And if you like today's story time, let me know if you guys like to work part-time, if you guys are working part-time, and what you like about working alongside studies. I will see you guys in my next storytime video, hopefully next month or next to next month. But until then, bye!